Hello, and welcome back to all of you doers, movers, and shakers out there in communities everywhere. Thank you again for joining Lessons Learned with the Community Lady. I'm excited to introduce our guest today, Miss Tonya Howell. Tonya and Tonya's in Chicago, actually, and I will allow Tonya to introduce herself. And Ms. Tonya, first, thank you so much for joining me today, taking time out of your schedule just to share your lesson learned.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So my name is Tonya Howell, and I am the Executive Director of Intonation Music. For those of you who don't know, Intonation is a nonprofit organization on the Southside of Chicago. We engage young people by encouraging them to tap into the joy and power of music. So we provide music education, mostly in Greater Bronzeville, but on the Southside in general, in a really special and unique way. So students in grades 3rd through 12th learn all of the instruments in a live band. So electric guitar, bass, drums, keys, vocals. They form bands, they play and create music together. They perform as a band, and most importantly, they share their voice through music. All of our instructors are super talented working musicians themselves. So our students get to work from amazing folks, and I'm just super happy to be able to lead this team. So I'm happy to be here and to share a little bit about the work that we do.
Thank you very much. You know, one thing I didn't ask you before, how are your students recruited? Is it a school-based program or a community-based program?
So it's both, actually. Our program goes directly into schools on the South Side, and we also partner with the Chicago Park District. So we're at 3 parks in the Greater Bronzeville area. Students can also sign up directly through our website.
Okay.
And all of our programs are free for young people and families. So yeah.
Well, wonderful. So we'll be certain to include the link to your website below the video.
Awesome.
So one thing that really struck me about your journey with this organization, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you were first a volunteer parent. Is that correct?
So I started with Intonation as a parent. That is correct. I have 2 children, one who's just about to graduate high school tomorrow, actually. She's 18.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. She started with Intonation when she was in 2nd grade. So she's been with the program for a decade. And my son, who is 13, has been with Intonation for about 5 years.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so in your performances, when the youth perform as a band, do you perform at events, or are you available for events?
We are, yeah. So we do a few showcases every year, a couple at Promontory, which is in Hyde Park in Chicago. And then we have it, yeah, I bet. It's a fun place. And then at the end of the school year in June, we have what's called Mixtape Live. It's an outdoor youth arts fest where all of our bands from the school year perform. We just had the event last Saturday. We had 14 youth bands. We had 3 guest performers. We had DJs, food trucks, family activities. It was a great day where our students could really showcase the work that they've been doing all year.
Oh, that's excellent. Wow. Okay. So I'm going down. Well, this is great. It's all part of your experience working in the community, but I love the program. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So I'd love to hear just one lesson learned, if you would share, and the lesson can inspire, inform, it can comfort, it can advise, any lesson that you would want to share with someone who's working in the community, perhaps with another parent who's volunteering, either in a volunteer or in a staff role. Any lesson that's on your heart to share?
Okay, well, it's funny because when you invited me to participate with you in this experience, I immediately thought about my role with Intonation and how it evolved over time. So I started over a decade ago as a parent, and then during the pandemic, Intonation reached out as they were building their board, and so I joined the executive board as a board member. And then shortly after that, it was announced that the founding director was moving on from the organization and was ready to have a community person step into the role, someone who was really connected with the community. A person of color was probably ideal since we serve young people of color on the South Side of Chicago, and just someone who was really familiar with the organization. And at first, I didn't put my hat in the ring, so to speak. But after listening to sort of who they were looking for, it just kept coming to me that I felt like I would be the perfect fit. And so I ended up applying for the executive director position. And then about 8 months ago, I started as Intonation's executive director. So I started as a parent, I was a board member, and then the ED. And somewhere in the middle there, I was also a partner because I was a principal at an elementary school, and Intonation was an arts partner at the school. So I sort of had this this just multiple perspective,
Absolutely.
Look at the work. And so when you asked me about this, I immediately thought about how it's so important to, one, include various perspectives, but then two, to really listen to the voices of the community. Because when Intonation was working on their strategic plan, they invited parents and young people and community folks and all their stakeholders to participate in that process. And so I was able to share my insights, and my daughter was also able to share her insights, and those things, the things that we shared, showed up in the strategic plan. So
I love that.
So when I thought about lessons learned, I thought about how important it is for community leaders, nonprofit leaders, to include the voices and perspectives of those they serve. And it made me think about how important it is to ask the right questions, to ask about what is needed, and really inquire, about folks' perspectives, so that when you're sort of charting a path forward, that you're getting the best ideas on the table, and that you're, again, just being inclusive of those perspectives. Because I think that, too many times people in positions of power or in positions of leadership are making decisions that impact people's lives, but they're not fully understanding what's needed, or fully understanding which action steps would really yield the best outcomes, for those folks who we're serving.
Absolutely. I think you're perhaps not understanding the value of the community's voice in some instances.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's one of the things that came up for me was, it's about valuing the voice. It's about empowering and uplifting, the voices of those in the community, so that we're not doing things to people, that we're doing things with people, and, for the right reasons, not just to be helpful, but to truly empower folks and improve our community, improve lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. I'm just, I'm thinking about how all of these lessons learned, we started the series about a month ago, as I mentioned to you earlier, but it is just, it's eye-opening, and it's also just pleasing to see how all of the lessons are sort of overlapping. But I think at the core of most of them is really listening to each other's voice and respecting one another's voice, and respecting opinions that differ from yours. And, at least being open enough to consider other perspectives.
Yeah, we don't have all the answers. We can't possibly know everything, and so I think the more inclusive we are, the better. And also, as a leader of an organization, knowing that sometimes your idea is not going to be the idea that moves forward, and being okay with that is really important too.
Yeah, that's something. Wow. Okay, so how can anyone who's interested in contacting Intonation contact Intonation?
Yeah, so our website is intonationmusic.org. And then you can contact me directly, Tonya at intonationmusic.org. Our website has information about who we are as an organization, about our programs. You can register directly through the website for our summer camps, for our school time, our school year programs. If you're interested in joining as an instructor, or you want to join our team, we often have job opportunities posted there as well. So our website is inclusive of everything that you need to know about Intonation. So go to intonationmusic.org.
Well, thank you so much, Tonya. It's remarkable to see and to witness your journey just from you even explaining it.
Thank you so much.
It's wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us. Thank everyone for watching. We really hope that you appreciate the lessons learned, that you've learned something today. Please leave your comments or thoughts below. Until next time, keep doing, keep moving, and keep shaking things up in your communities. Peace.
Awesome.
Working in community, no place I'd rather be.
working in community, lifting, loving, setting free. Don't know where